on the 28th, on the 8th day of August, on the 8th day of August 2020 in Abaco, Bahamas. You're live with Kai on WCAY. There's a saying in the Bahamas and indeed Abaco that nothing free is free. Free things come with a price. It always did, and it always will. Let me repeat that again. Free things come with a price. It always did, and it always will. Dr. Livingston Marshall came to television, radio, and announced that the Bahamian workers is the worst in the world, unworthy of filling the workmanship in Baker's Bay. He has cast all Bahamians. That is why I said any political party that get connected with Dr. Livingston Marshall is a bunch of crooks and cronies just like him. If the FBI or Scotland Yard would have come and investigate the dealing on the undermine, under-table dealings that Dr. Minnis, Dr. Livingston Marshall has had with 3 prime ministers, ain't no way all 4 of them wouldn't go to jail. Dr. Livingston Marshall is one of the dirtiest, crookedest person to ever been in charge of a resort in the history of the Bahamas, and he continued to do so. When he brought in persons that he said can work better than Bahamians, it was not that. It was cheap labor. And cheap labor came with a price. Came with a price that is over now. They say 20 Mexicans, hard-working Mexicans that Dr. Livingston Marshall is in love with is infecting Abaco proper with COVID-19. Not because of their hard workmanship, because of their cheap labor. That's why I said, free things come with a price. It always did, and it always will. That's the same thing with cheap things. The cheap things at this time is the cheap labor. And what we got is COVID-19 that's gonna ruin Baker's Bay and Abaco for years to come. Prepare the trailer. Hopefully, they would put Mexicans in the trailer behind the clinic for 9 months. I'm looking forward to seeing them rather than Bahamians. Let's see how long the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is going to keep the Mexicans in the trailer behind the clinic. We knew and we know he never cared for Bahamians before the storm, during the storm, or after the storm, because he kept them in the trailer for 9 months. To add injury to insult, he nor the Deputy Prime Minister came to eulogize the biggest event in the history of the country as far as disaster. Neither one of those decide to show up. Now we are faced with the escalation of COVID-19 in one part of a key of Guanakey called Baker's Bay. And because the great white shark, Brent Seminit, sat down at the table and self-dealt himself and the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas at $25 million to do a ferry service, and took it from a company that has been running ferry service for over 30, 40, 50 years, Albury's Ferry. And in a down economical time, they sent 18 Abaconians home without mortgages, had kids in school, and didn't care nothing about them, while they were and is the government party. And it's dangerous for a country, for a minister with the wealth of Brent Seminit and the most honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Minnis, to sit at the table and self-dealt themselves a contract for $25 million, while the Prime Minister of the country and nobody in this country has hit to the street. Only Kyle Mills continue to let the world know what we got as a Prime Minister. Only Kyle Mills were at the dock when the ferry service, Bahamas Fast Ferry, came in like a big great white shark and suck the employment out of Abaco. When Brent Seminit, as Minister of Investment and Immigration, edged out of $25 million for him and the Prime Minister. That is unacceptable. Now, I started this video. Free things come with a price. It always did, and it always will. The free things that came with the Mexicans coming into the Bahamas without their COVID-19 tests. 46 homes from Baker's Bay. Somebody say, a promise is a comfort to a fool. So you tell me that Baker's Bay promised the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas 46 homes because Michael Melman knows that the Prime Minister is a fool? Rightfully so. We have not heard anything about the 46 homes since the 100+ Mexicans has entered Abaco. So again, Mike Melman is right. Free things come with a price. It always did, and it always will. The free things that was promised to the fool Prime Minister by Michael Melman in Baker's Bay was 46 homes that we ain't gonna get. The price we got and paid for the 46 promised homes to the incompetent Prime Minister, we got Baker's Bay rimming over, escalating with over 100 Mexicans that all live in a trailer home on a barge. And if 20 got it, 100 got it. Because they had it for over 2 weeks before they recognized that they had it. So that whole island ought to be closed down. Why? The world, having the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas close Baker's Bay down. Why is the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas allowing Bahamians from Sandy Point to Crown Haven to go on Baker's Bay every day for 2 weeks after he discovered that there's over 20 Mexicans that have COVID-19 on Bakers Bay. Why is that key not closed? And he's closing the whole country down because of greed, lack of integrity. When last have we had a prime minister of this country was not greedy and lack integrity? They are the ingredients that make a great prime minister. This prime minister have no heart, have no soul, have no consideration, has no integrity, and he's a greedy man to the point that he gave his wife a ministry that we, the people of the Bahamas, have to pay his wife a nothing job. No constitutional rights to give his wife a job and call it the spouse of the prime minister, getting chauffeured, getting salary. What have she accomplished since she have got this ministerial position as wife of the spouse of the prime minister? That even sound ignorant. But them for them love it. And because of greed and lack of integrity and promise that the comfort to a fool, that Mike Melvin promised 46 homes. The fool happened to be the prime minister of the Bahamas, because to date, to negotiate, Mike Melvin said the art of negotiation. When something is promised to you, you get it first before you let the Mexicans in. The Mexicans are in, gonna kill Bahamians, and the house haven't started yet. The foundation of the 46 houses haven't been started, and Bahamians will die before they go in that 46 homes because of COVID-19. It's one of these Kai Care videos trying to educate a population that just allowing this prime minister to cause you death. He is already starving Abaco that we cannot get no food until Monday. What next? Kai cares. That's why he's here. I'm that brave, fearless person that is standing in the gap and trying to help a people that went through a storm and still going through a storm called the FNM. The Prime Minister, the most honorable Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Dr. Hubert Minnis, and another doctor, Dr. Livingston Marshall, that brought these Mexicans in because they're better workers than any Bahamians in his lifetime. Utter hogwash. Kai cares. I sticking with the Bahamian workers because I am and always will be Bahamian. Kai cares.